Wait, what? What? You said what to do? No, like, what is that? Oh, did you make it? Duh. Y'all are gonna be nice to me? Even if you don't.
Okay, what we're gonna do, since it's already past time, we're waiting on one of the prosecution attorneys. However, we don't really have time for that, so we're gonna have them take over as much as they can, and hopefully by the time the defense is done with their last bit of questioning, she'll be here and able to help their team. So if the defense would go ahead and get started with their last bit of questioning, then we're gonna go into the prosecution's last bit of questioning and then closing statements, and then that's when we're gonna break up. The jury's gonna go deliberate in the room over there and basically come up with a decision for what, using the evidence that's been presented in court, who has won. So I'm going to invite the judge into the courtroom. Would everyone all rise?
Morning, you may all be seated. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. So as she said, we're going to continue the questioning. Defense, if you'd like to call your first witness to the stand.
Yes, I would like to call Laurel to the stand. Can you please state your name and how you know Olive?
My name's Laurel, and I'm Olive's best friend.
How long have y'all been best friends?
We have been best friends for 10 years.
Would you say your relationship was off and on, or was it constant?
No, I'll say.
All right. Did you see her moments before the fire?
Saw her the day before.
And how was she acting?
She was acting fine, still enthusiastic about getting her schoolwork done, but she was tired, and she didn't seem like she was really wanting to eat, and she was complaining about her head hurting.
Did you say she had a project she was working on?
Yeah, she had a big project due.
Was she excited about it?
Yeah, she was excited about it.
Would you say it made her stressed?
Not that I could tell, because she didn't like really explain that she was stressed. She just said she had a lot going on, but that she knew she had to get done with this.
She wasn't functioning properly?
I mean, I guess you can say she was stressed if she wasn't eating as much.
And she normally do not act like this, correct?
No.
All right, and how would you say her support system is?
Good.
Who is in her support system?
Her mom, her dad, her sister.
Was you aware that she had bipolar 1 disorder?
No.
You were her best friend for 10 years and you didn't know any problems with her?
No.
All right, and all that time you never seen her act violent?
No.
You never saw her use fire or experiment with it outside of harmless science projects?
No, only science projects in her classmaking.
You said she was selfless and honest. Those traits don't match someone intentionally committing arson, right?
Right.
Right, that's all.
How long did you know the defendant?
For 10 years.
How often would you say that you and the defendant see each other?
Not a lot since we went to college.
And how often would you say you talk to the defendant?
Every other day.
How often would you say you talk about your daily lives and confide within each other?
Every other day.
So at the time of the incident, you weren't aware of her day-to-day behavior, correct?
No.
You didn't know what her mood was like in the weeks leading up to the fire?
No.
You weren't aware of any specific stresses that she may have been dealing with?
No.
You had no direct knowledge of her mental state on the day of the fire, correct?
No.
You were not present when the alleged offense occurred, correct?
No.
You weren't with her in the days or even weeks leading up to the fire, correct?
I was with her the day before.
So anything you know about her mindset would be based on the past, not the present, correct?
Correct.
Prosecution, yes.
Defense.
You're not a trained psychiatrist or psychologist, correct? So you cannot definitively say that you didn't or did see that she had bipolar 1 disorder? Okay. list off symptoms, like one by one. I need you to say if you like saw this the day before, right? Sleeplessness,
Yes.
erratic behavior, erratic speech, talking fast,
Yes.
stress,
Yes.
not eating.
Yes.
Okay. These are all symptoms that we've established before.
Prosecution, anything else? Witness, you may return to your seat. Do you have any other witnesses you'd like to call?
Defense, do you have any more witnesses?
No more witnesses? Well, then we're gonna move on to the closing arguments. 2 minutes. We're supposed to start with the prosecution. Flip it around.
We're gonna take a 2-minute recess until 9:10. If she's here by 9:10, we will allow her to answer her
Can I
questions.
call like one more question? I
Yeah.
forgot to ask her. Sorry. All right. So the prosecution just said that you can't make statements about the past. We're focused on the present, right? This fire was in the past, correct?
Yes.
And you saw her the day before?
Yeah.
Hey guys, pay
Testified to
attention,
her
please.
behavior the day before the incident,
Yes.
but you can't testify to her behavior now, right? Well, we're not focused on now, we're focused on the incident. I'm good.
Okay, now we're going to continue with the closing arguments. Move on to that. So prosecution, if you would step forward.
Since I didn't want to print. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, in just a few moments you will decide whether the defendant, Olive Harrison, should be held responsible for the fire she deliberately set. The fire that destroyed the architecture building at Mississippi State. Luckily, no lives were lost, but the destruction was real. It was intentional, and it was irreversible. The defense wants you to believe this was an act of insanity. They want you to think Olive was so far removed from reality that she couldn't understand right from wrong, but the evidence tells you a different story. Our forensic psychologist sat down and evaluated Olive. She concluded Olive was not insane. She understood her actions, she understood the consequences of her actions, and she knew exactly what she was doing the night she set that fire. Now, compare that to what the defense offered you. Their psychologist spent 2, maybe 3 hours with Olive total. She admitted right here on this stand that she did not have enough time. She did not run enough tests. And when asked about her qualifications, she even exaggerated the number of years she worked in forensic psychology. That is not a thorough evaluation. That is someone trying to make the story fit the defense. So, the defense tried something else. They repeatedly asked her friends, her roommate, her cousin, and even the fire marshal, "Are you a psychologist?" As if not having a degree makes their observation meaningless. But these witnesses aren't here to diagnose her. They are here to tell you the truth about what they saw. They are human. They are people who can see, who can hear, who can recognize when someone is grounded in reality. More importantly, they actually know Olive. They saw her on a day-to-day. They didn't just sit with her for a couple of hours. They lived beside her. They knew her moods, her habits, and her choices. And what did every single one of them tell you? They told you that she was tired. They told you she was sleep-deprived, she was stressed, but she was not confused. She was not detached from reality, she was not delusional, and she was not insane. She was Olive. She was functioning, understanding, capable of making decisions, and talking weeks in advance about the big change she planned to make. Let's not forget about her passion. It was not a chaotic obsession born from psychosis. It was a focused and practiced skill. She loved the flames. She worked with them. She understood them. She understood their danger. She talked about them constantly and consciously. And on the night of the fire, she used them deliberately. She walked into the building with a purpose. She set the fire with a purpose, and she walked away with a purpose. The defense psychologist wants you to believe that a moment of mania excuses these actions, but that's not how the law works. If impulsive choices and stress could wipe away responsibility, then anybody with a bad night of sleep would be free from responsibility. That is not justice. The truth is simple. This is not a case of insanity. This was intention, and it was a choice. The architecture building is now gone. Years of work, spaces students called home, and future memories, all in ash because someone decided it was their time to make a big change. Ladies and gentlemen, this case is not about punishing mental illness. It is about recognizing insanity and when it's being used to shield and avoid consequences. Olive Harrison is not insane. She is responsible. And justice, real justice, says that you should hold her accountable for her actions. Thank you.
Defense, you want to proceed with your closing argument?
Throughout this trial, you have heard two completely different interpretations of the same event. The prosecution tried to frame this intentional, but the evidence you heard, the testimony from the people who actually saw Olivia before, during, and after the incident, told a very different story. It showed a young woman in the middle of a severe manic episode, unable to appreciate what she was doing, acting under distorted judgment and overwhelming symptoms of mental illness. You heard from the witnesses who knew Olivia best. Her roommate described days with no sleep, nonstop activity, and pressured, erratic speech, and her therapist described a long, documented history of bipolar I disorder and past manic episodes, with the exact same symptoms that preceded the fire. Not malice, not planning, not criminal intent, just mania, real, severe, untreated mania. And then you heard from the state's expert, someone who met Olive a while after the incident, after she slept, stabilized, and came back down. Someone who evaluated Olive in her recovered state and told you that because she looked stable a week later, she must have been stable the night before the fire. But mental illness doesn't work that way, and she knows that. She relied on tests like the MMPI-2, a tool that measures how a person feels the day is taken, not their prior mental state. The MMI-2 cannot time travel. A normal score only tells you Olive was no longer manic at the time of testing. It confirms the episode had ended. It does not and cannot tell you she wasn't manic during the fire. That is not an evaluation of mental state at the time of the offense like described. That is a misunderstanding of a very tool she used. Now compare that to the defense expert. She reviewed Olive's full psychiatric history. She examined therapy records, behavior observations, and the pattern of symptoms. In the days leading up to the fire, the sleeplessness, the racing thoughts, the impulsivity, the symbolic and grandiose thinking, the lithium withdrawal, the emotional evaluation. She looked at Olive's behavior medically, psychologically, and consensually. She did what a real forensic mental state at the time of the offense evaluation requires. She explained how mania can distort judgment, create symbolic meaning, and erase the ability to distinguish danger and consequences. How a person can genuinely believe an act is creative, cleansing, or meaningful rather than harmful. She applied the correct legal standard, whether Olive could appreciate the wrongfulness of her actions at the time of the fire. And she concluded, based on science, evidence, and accepted forensic method, that Olive could not. The law asks you one question: did Olive appreciate the wrongfulness of her actions or at the time of the fire? The evidence tells you she did not. She was manic, she was not sleeping, her judgment was distorted. She saw the fire as symbolic and meaningful, not dangerous or wrong. Her perception of overwhelmed by the mental illness she could not control. When she was stabilized, when the mania lifted, and she was horrified. The reaction alone tells you who she really is. We do not punish people for being sick. We do not ignore science. We do not hold someone criminally responsible when their mental illness completely overwhelms their ability to understand what they are doing. Olive needs treatment, stability, and safety, not a prison cell. The only verdict consists with the evidence, with the testimony, with science, and with the law. Not guilty by the reason of insanity. Thank you.
Thank you. And to the jury, remember that the closing arguments are not evidence, simply just a summary of their opinion on the evidence. You'll now be released for deliberation. Just remember to use only the evidence provided in court to come up with your decision without bias. Okay.
Yeah, both of them. I had a curly one, and I was.
Has a more of it making you keep like scared?
Yeah, it's definitely a team effort.
Are you a baker?
Yeah.
It was so good, they were so good.
Thank you. I'm glad
Thank
you
you
liked
for bringing
them.
that.
Yeah, she
no
was
problem.
like, yeah, I think the guy went, got the girl went, and then she was like, yeah, we had wings.
Yeah, it happened fast.
Yeah, she was like, it was been like a month, and she was like, now we're buddy parents.
Yeah, there's 6 of them.
Are y'all gonna get rid of them?
Yeah, we might keep one, I think, but we're gonna try to get rid of the rest. So if any of you are interested in a bunny,
That's what she said.
Just to get a copy for myself, and then I'm gonna have to resend it next semester. I'm gonna have a degree from 2 schools. I have 2 straight transfers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be stable as $10.
Why did it just get so quiet? I'm so ready for that. I don't like that.
We only had like 4 jury members.
No, we had more than 4. How many did we have? Did we have 12 or no?
I was thinking there was 8.
Okay.
You don't look like 8 people left, where am I tripping?
It does. I watched them walk out.
Yeah.
7. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You did that issue.
I watched them. Yeah,
We still pay.
y'all better
See,
go.
these were
Y'all
all-
better go. Y'all better put some money on my book like this.
No, we good, we did our job.
That's all your transfer credits on here.
That's fair.
You can't see what the board is, they blew the grad course.
No. But.
ADHD thing?
Like,
Well, I guess so, I just already you're getting boosters for it.
uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanna say these.
Yeah. The jury has decided on the State versus Olive Harrison case that she is not guilty by reason of insanity. If you would like to know why, we feel like she should actually get rehabilitation and not just thrown into a jail cell, which she will not get actual help. So yeah. We love y'all.
Woo!
Love y'all.
That is true, we did never say we would throw her to jail cell.
Well, everyone, thank you for all your hard work on the trial. It's been really, really fun. You guys all gave like a lot of effort. It got like super intense the first 2 days of court. I was like over there like, oh my God. But yeah, if there's any questions you guys have, I told a few of you guys this, like,
Are we in it?
yes. Okay, smiles. Oh, you guys are so cute.
Well, we'd like to appeal the verdict.
I know, I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna put them on canvas today. But thank you guys for being my first class. I've so